How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well.
just just hide behind my stack of bricks. So my headcanon is that every time you send me one of these codes, it's just the address for the random warehouse that we've decided to set up in tonight. Is,
Yeah,
is some sort of like
we keep getting raided, so we have to move it around.
we don't own this place. We're not even supposed to be here.
Ooh, I
We're
got a
just
shooty hoop.
ooh. Did you get a point for it?
I did.
Nice.
Yeah, this is a legitimate business during the daytime that we just roll into.
Our truck is the only thing that we actually own. We just back up into this place and unload all of our stuff, and we're like, okay, we gotta go hunt those ghosts now.
This is just a novelty um, Radio Shack that has old camcorders and ESD sensors, and there's oh sweet, we can
And
use your
drugs.
stuff. Well,
And
like
drugs.
a Radio
Yeah.
Shack.
Yeah, like a Radio Shack. This is actually exactly like a Radio Shack.
So last time I
No.
was in Bar Harbor, we
Mhm.
stayed in Ellsworth, and I remembered as a kid passing by the Radio Shack that was in this one particular plaza, and the sign for the Radio Shack is still up and apparently illuminated. So I was like,
What?
oh shit, a Radio Shack! I gotta like see this. Uh,
Like,
turns out
is
it is no longer a Radio Shack. It is a a Republican headquarters.
oh my.
And they just never took the sign down.
Republicans, radio, pretty much the same thing. Starts with an R.
It's like, yeah, that's it. I'm somehow not surprised.
That's, like I feel, yeah, like vultures feeding off the scraps. Uh, that's. I'm a little disappointed that Radio Shack doesn't exist anymore. Because, like, there's so many things that a Radio Shack should be selling.
I feel like if I got into electronics around the time that I actually did, I would have really enjoyed Radio Shack. I feel like it would have been a good
Yeah,
opportunity to do some hands-on, playing.
yeah, you could get equipment to do stuff with.
Get a
Now, what are you
boy.
gonna do? Order it on Amazon?
Yeah, I have to siphon it out of my outlets.
All that electricity and shit?
Yeah, the trick is using a metal straw.
Oh, yes. It's better for the environment.
You gotta suck the electrolytes out to get it started, and then it'll just pour into your electronic bucket.
It has what plants need in it.
The electrolytes.
Electrolytes. I just use the my overhead pot lights. I just pointed up at my overhead pot light, like you could see that. And you just unscrew the light, and then you just let the electricity fall out of it.
Oh, wow. See,
Yeah.
what a lot of people don't realize is that outlets work like hamster cage water bottles, where you have to push
Mm.
it in slightly for it to, free drip.
Yeah, push it in slightly, then and just kind of lick the metal ball. It's completely safe.
I'm
You
gonna,
should absolutely do it at home.
it's gonna be a quote. It's gonna be a quote that I'm gonna have put on a cross stitch.
On a
Push it in
so people
slightly and
have
lick the
there's
metal
no
ball.
and then just a picture of a power outlet. Just to clarify things.
Yes, that will make things very clear.
I don't see how people could misinterpret this. Oh man, what was it? I had watched a thing, and they
I
talked
don't
about.
believe you. This is bullshit story
I,
already.
I mean, you're right. It was actually it was hand puppets. It was all hand puppets.
It's the only way I've taken media.
It was hand puppets at the main the town square, like the one that they used to entertain the various village children.
Hmm.
And they were talking about how electricity actually works. And the
Okay.
guy says everybody visualizes it as like just electrons just flowing in particles through your wires, and he says it's actually a lot more complicated than that, and it's hard to imagine, but it's like some sort of excitation of the electromagnetic field, which is connected by the wire that you have, which is why sometimes the arcing happens. It's not like there's an actual particle stream flowing through this thing. They're all just shaking in unison.
Yeah.
Oh, that made things infinitely worse. Let's just continue to pretend that it's flowing through it like pipes, or like water through pipes.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stick to that because
So
I literally could not wrap my head around what you were talking about, dude.
almost like the current is alternating. They
Like
should have a name for that.
some sort of reversing, some sort of back and forth flow of electricity.
Did I ever tell you about my sci-fi idea for a new power source, like a more efficient form of electricity?
Ooh, no, I don't think you have.
So, if you consider that a DC circuit is a straight line, as depicted on a oscilloscope,
Mm.
that is two dimensional. I guess it would be two dimensional. Or
Well, I mean, a straight line it's about one dimensional.
okay, well, I don't
Yeah.
think it's an accurate statement per se, but if you consider it as being one dimension, just a straight line, and then AC is you're taking a peak positive and negative voltage, and having that be an additional, if not dimension, additional axes.
Yeah, I know. I understand what you're talking about. Like the going from just a straight line from one point to the other to the alternation on it.
So, what if you could fabricate a way to have a three-dimensional current that, if you were to visualize, would be almost like a spiral? Instead of going, in addition to going
Uzumaki.
up and down, you exactly get spiraled. Up and down, it goes back and forth.
I mean, if not some sort of like serialized sci-fi show, that's definitely at least worth a science fiction horror.
And it could be generated, let's say, by an AC motor, but like 9 of them on a gimbal.
Hmm.
So you're forcing this third dimension of movement.
Interesting. I imagine that you're like if you were to visualize it 3D, you just have like instead of like a regular sloping oscillation to it, you'd have like a really high peak and then a quick drop off.
It would look identical on a two-dimensional O-scope, but if you use a 3D O-scope, which is a thing I just made up, you would see that it's actually, going on this third vertices.
So I appreciate oscilloscopes in all forms of science fiction media because I think they're one of those peak science sci-fi props. So a 3D one would definitely be welcomed in an engine room for me. Yeah, I'd be
Mm-hmm.
cool with that.
That was just my idea. I'm pretty sure there's no actual science behind it. I didn't find any research, and I don't have my own electronic engineering lab to throw together a prototype.
You are a shop manager at this point. You could just turn your office into your own private lab. Your bosses come down and visit you like, there's been some high bills and also the US government has contacted us. What's going on in here?
It's okay.
I just
We have a
invented new
patent.
electricity.
Like new
I
Coke.
cut-
You've had
Coke
electricity.
Crystal.
You've had electricity classic. Now try new electricity.
Electricity zero. All the electricity as before, but with zero new benefits. I feel like your bosses would be okay with it if you had a patent that included them in some sort of amount of money to it, like 10% share of it.
Hmm.
Oh.
The same great
New
flavor,
electricity.
twice the jolt.
Now you have to be afraid of both the amps and the volts.
Oh, that means there could be a new measurement. They could be the truths.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Do we really need another form of measurement in electricity?
One named after me, yes.
Amps. You've heard of amps, and you've heard of volts, and you've heard of watts, and you've heard of kilowatts, which are apparently slightly different, and joules, and megajoules, which are more important to the power grid. But now we have the trude.
Don't forget farads.
That's it. I'm pairing back. You're only allowed to invent one, two, three forms of measurement for each individual.
For each science.
Each science gets 3 measurements. Distance already has length, width, and height. So, and that height/depth thing is starting to get a little annoying.
You've been taking
Geometry
too many
wanted
liberties.
to go and have a 4th dimension. With depth and internal volume. When a squared plus b squared equals c squared plus 3.
Species, families, and genus. That's all you're getting.
Does anyone even know what the rest of them are, anyways? Like, we don't need the rest of those. Yeah.
Phylum?
Phylum? It's the only one that comes to mind. It's like, that doesn't even sound like a word. That sounds like someone made it up.
I wasn't confident when I said phylum. I was like, this is either some sort of fancy dough or the dangly bit at the end of a bacterium.
Oh, that's a flagellum.
Flagellum,
which
yes.
is not to be mistaken for phlogiston. Phlogiston.
You really
that was the stuff that caused fire.
You really don't want to miss anything that starts with fludge and ends in isms. It's just you want to be very sure about what you're asking for.
I don't know how to tell you guys this, but I made a mistake in ordering for the shop, and I've accidentally ordered 10 pallets of flagellums. I'm not sure how they get the flagellums.
How do you harvest the flagellum?
I don't even know how many flagellums are in a pallet, but we have 10 pallets coming. Oh God, they've fallen on me, and they just keep moving. I can feel them.
It's a very sad old woman sitting on a milk crate with a tweezer and a microscope.
She's like, I invented molecular scissors so that I could cut the flagellums off of various bacterium, harvest them, so that we could sell them to people who accidentally order them.
Wait, is molecular gastronomy a thing?
It is.
Okay.
That's when you when you feed people like a memory of asparagus, and a wisp of broccoli. A remembrance of duck.
A longing of cabbage.
Cabbage. An extended sigh of carrots. Ah.
An ennui of parsley.
How do you cook with vague concepts? It's like, you know how the regularly worshipped gods had, like, normal stuff like, you know, fire, the sky, and then you get the creepier older gods that are like, you know, darkness and light, and then you have the primordial gods that are just like vague concepts of the universe. That's what we cook with.
The pantheon of existential dread.
Needs a little more existential dread on that.
A dash
This
of ennui.
Your parsnips are still too much like parsnips. Take them apart and rearrange them until we've produced a cure for cancer. And then puree that into a sauce.
Puree of apathy.
What's this? It's a plate full of entropy.
Entropy. John, I think that's the deepest thing you've ever said.
It's just an empty plate.
That's the most pretentious art exhibit I've ever seen.
I'm gonna get a grant for that. Put nothing in the room. You are experiencing the heat death of the universe. I give to you entropy. And then I shut off the lights and walk out. Just the richest people in there are just like, oh my god, I'll buy the room. How much for the whole room?
And for dessert, nihilism jubilee.
With just a slight vodka sauce. How do we get the vodka? Well, it's actually been pumped into the air ducts. So you're all getting vodka.
That would explain the burning sensation when I inhale. I was concerned for a moment. Oh God!
No, it's this is wonderful.
Vaporizing Everclear into an unsuspecting crowd.
No smoking in here. You could accidentally set the whole place on fire.
No smoking. Smoking is discouraged.
But it's your experience. I don't want to stop you from experiencing it.
Oh, speaking of which, have you watched Menu yet?
I haven't.
Again, I would highly recommend it for someone with both of our professional backgrounds.
I would absolutely love to. I'm gonna. What is it? That's on Amazon, isn't it?
I actually saw it in a theater.
Oh, is it? It's in a. Holy shit! I forgot theaters existed.
Yeah, right? When I was in a theater, I was thinking, wow, what a magnificent waste of space.
But like, and you just kind of holding your arms in front of you and like just pinching the sides of the screen with your fingers.
Yo, you want to hear some bullshit?
What's that?
In the theater were 6 people, including Kirsten and myself.
What?
Which was awesome.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
2 of those people decided to sit in the seats directly in front of us.
What the fuck?
The entirety of the theater. You got the rear right corner with one couple, Kirsten and I, 3/4 up center, and then directly in front of us.
What a dick! Like that violates all of this. I would never get near another person in an empty theater. It's just weird.
Would stay as far away from another person in general.
Yeah, I hate people. But like the social pressure of not sitting next to a person when there are it's like walking into a bathroom and going in the urinal right next to another person.
You just don't do it.
Yeah, you don't.
Apparently,
Like it's like the big restroom with like whole line urinals, and you just chose to stand right next to a person.
well, apparently it's going to be streaming on HBO Max January 3rd. So I guess
Oh,
you're welcome for the free plug, makers of
hey.
this very niche movie.
Oh, I guess you'll be getting a sponsorship now. Are you
Or a
sponsored?
takedown notice.
Or maybe both. Who says you can't have it all? I've never understood the concept of you can't have your cake and eat it. That's why you take a picture of it.
Yeah, why did I get the cake?
Why would I get the cake if I wasn't going to eat it? It's
Um,
like cocaine. It's not going to smoke itself.
have you seen the movie Hide and Seek?
Mm, no.
It's an
No.
amazing B movie about a woman about to get married to the heir of a mystic fictional Hasbro.
Oh. Oh, okay. Yep.
That I would. They have a very same energy. The two
Oh,
movies.
okay. Okay. I haven't seen it, but I do remember the premise and the plot line for it. They end up like hunting her for sport or something along those lines.
Those are actually two movies that I would honestly consider buying on physical media had I any means of rewatching it.
Playing that physical media.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a PlayStation 4 in a box in the closet.
See, you do technically have the ability to do it.
I have a PlayStation 2 Slim on a box in the box closet too. That could,
Oh shit! You know what? Those PlayStation 2s were one of the fact that they could play DVDs is the reason that PlayStation like survived.
yeah.
You
Although
could pay $300 for a DVD player, or you could get a PlayStation.
I had heard that actually playing movies on your PlayStation was not good for it though.
Um, I can't say that because I remember when I got mine. The box advertised that it was capable of playing DVDs.
Well, no, it was capable, but I had heard it wasn't good for it. Like
Huh.
it.
I
But
maybe
again,
the like when
that's
Blu-ray
completely
came along.
baseless.
It's just a random claim that you're out there making.
Yep. I that thought is out there in the ether, and it will stick with somebody.
Yeah,
True or not,
I
be
mean,
truth or not, be damned.
so, congratulations, you've just started a conspiracy. Government's trying to cover up the fact that PlayStation 2s weren't originally meant to play a DVD. It has connections to the Pope. You gotta do your own research. Educate yourself. Don't be a sheep. I did. I educated myself. I went to school. I learned about these things. And you're wrong. Nah, you just didn't read the right education.
If I can break down your argument into individual snippets that are, I know you're not going to bother to look up.
Pangolins aren't actually flightless birds.
Pangolins?
Penguins, yeah.
Pangolins.
Penguins. Yeah, that's the original spelling of it. Oh, it's an old English.
Did the English
Oh,
know
look it
about
up.
pangolins?
Absolutely. Haven't you ever seen like those old maps?
Wait, where are pangolins from anyway?
Actually, they're from a lot of places. Some of them are in hot places too.
I don't think we're talking about the same animal.
Oh, pangolians. Yeah, those things are, I think, from the American Midwest. But they're a wonderful creature.
No, pangolin.
Pangolin. Pangolin. Now I have to Google it.
I want to say either Australia or China.
Pangolins are too nice to come from Australia.
Oh, well, sub-Saharan Africa.
Oh, okay. Bit of a, bit of a, bit of a curveball there, but they're just adorable.
And that's why you look up your claims, because I was going to say that a pangolin is a flightless bird found in Africa.
Oh, see, you were almost correct enough to be correct.
And really, that's C's get degrees, right?
Yeah, it's true. Like,
Almost only
eventually,
counts in horseshoes and hand grenades in the American school system.
yeah. I mean, someone out there practicing medicine was at the bottom of their class. And they still have a medical degree.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's legal.
When can we design a computer to do that?
I see you've broken your leg. Oh, that's not your leg. Wait, are you Mr. Johnston? Oh, this isn't room 403, is it?
You're probably going to want me to cancel the amputation then, huh? Don't worry, we'll still bill you.
You've already gotten some of the anesthesia medicine, so we are going to have to bill you for that, I'm afraid.
Good luck contesting that charge.
Also, I'm outside of your network, so that's even more money. Also, your insurance company will throw in some other random bullshit that costs you more money too, so have fun with that. Was it a full blood moon when you went to the hospital? I don't know if it was a full blood moon. It was definitely a full blood moon. According to your policy, on the full blood moon, you pay double.
We should probably play the game at some point, huh?
What? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm pretty sure this is just a social thing, isn't it? This is like Facebook's Meta or something like that.
Gosh.
VR chat. I mean, this is just as horrifying as what Meta came up with, so,
Honestly, Phasmophobia does it better than Facebook.
Yeah.
I have legs and arms.
And
a torso.
And they're connected. And a torso.
Yeah, not a Rayman character.
Can't do this in Meta. Yeah, that's right. Walking around on my feet. Oh, I'm out of breath. This game has asthma. I can really customize my character.
Oh, you think... What if the reason that we are able to be killed by ghosts is because we just have very weak lungs, and the ghost just has to, gently caress our throats for us to pass out?
Just get some pollen or dust in my throat, and honestly, the rest will take care of itself. It's like, it would end faster, when the ghost just goes, dust goes into my throat, I have an asthma attack, die right there.
A person with healthy lungs can just kind of stroll in and it's
Ghost
hugging
is
me.
Beating. The one with the sickle is chasing him backwards, with all feet on the ground, doing the crab walk. Yeah.
Also,
he's just like, oh, stop that, it tickles.
I just realized that there's another piece of media that involves a supernatural being bringing their hands out from behind you in front of you.
Oh, what's that?
The movie Ghost.
I want Patrick Swayze to be in this.
You go to
come into one of the rooms.
There's a pottery wheel.
There's a pottery wheel. It's a cursed object. If you sit down at the pottery wheel and start doing a pot, Patrick Swayze's ghost appears behind you. your other teammate can take a picture of it.
The ghost hands sliding down your hands.
Oh God, why is this happening?
What is the song that plays during that?
Oh, oh. I don't know. I haven't seen that. I think I've seen that in memes more than I have actually watched the movie Ghost.
Oh, probably. Activating this will excite the ghost.
I do not consent. I don't consent.
You turn
Jeez,
around
why?
and it's Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, she does one too, doesn't she?
She was the medium that is essentially doing all the physical movements during, and we're just supposed to accept that it's the ghost of Patrick Swayze's dead wife. But
Oh no.
reality is just Whoopi Goldberg, getting all up in that.
I mean, that's about as close to an accurate movie about a medium that you can get, if you think of it.
Wonderful.
I mean, I'm surprised that they haven't had the twins do the scene where they they just appear in the hallway and stop you from entering it suddenly.
A hotel would be an interesting idea for a large facility.
Yeah, that'd be nice. You could have a lobby, a workout room, and like 10,000 rooms. And you only have 5 minutes to find the ghost. Also, the breakers in the basement. Good luck with that.
And there's no toothpaste and toothbrushes on the front desk.
But it has one of those dinging bells,
Yeah. HBO is
and
free.
the ghost can throw it at you. It's not the HBO that has anything useful on it, though.
Anything useful.
This is a very phallic pot, too. Oh, God. Wow.
Distorted through a couple microphones, I would believe that's Whoopi singing. just singing this behind Patrick Swayze.
Helping her pot a wheel, make a pot.
Wheel a pot?
Wheel a pot. I'm not entirely sure how that works.
Did you pot a wheel or wheel a pot?
I'm not sure. Like, maybe potting a wheel is when you put the pot on there first to begin with.
Which came first, the wheel or the
potting
pot?
the wheel. No. The answer is Patrick Swayze came first. At least according to these clips, he did.
Good old hedonistic exorcisms.
Like, I feel like Ghost should have ended with an exorcism. Be like, move on, Patrick! Move on!
Just to
Then
be
Patrick
clear,
Stewart moves in.
Patrick's not the dead one in the movie.
No, Patrick is the dead one.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, Patrick Swayze was dead. He was the ghost.
Oh, so it's
So
Whoopi.
Whoopi getting on with a girl in a movie from like the 80s or the 70s.
Wow.
Yeah, very progressive. All it took was the medium of a dead man pretending being the... Wow, this is an extended amount of clip.
Well, making a pot is a longer process than you would think it would be. They want to be true to the art form.
Yeah, it's like the whole movie just made one pot. It's
No context, just Whoopi, an actress. I don't know her name. Making a pot.
Random hot actress from the just making a pot.
In a very
And not
sexual
even
way.
young Whoopi either. It's just current day Whoopi Goldberg.
It's just every, like, 5 minutes, Whoopi is replaced with Patrick Swayze for a 30-second block.
As they slowly increase the sexual tension between the main character and a dead man. Is this necrophilia? I don't know. Oh, he sees the light at the end. Oh.
Is it in the pot?
Um.
Is she making his urn?
Ooh. That'd be dark. I've been making this urn since you were still alive. Get in the pot, Patrick. Get in the pot. You're not gonna come between me and Whoopi anymore. She was in some weird movies.
Yeah. She had a. I wonder if her agent didn't care for her much.
I mean, she did well enough for herself. She was able to do whatever the hell she wanted. She got into Star Trek.
That's true.
That is true. That was like
Let's
making
see.
it.
Ghost,
Not
Star
even,
Trek.
like the original one.
There was a nun movie.
Patrick Stewart. See, you get Whoopi Goldberg standing in for Patrick Stewart making pottery. I feel like that would have been an excellent Easter egg somewhere in Star Trek.
Or just Patrick Stewart as the medium would be pretty interesting as well.
Oh yeah, that'd be like current day Patrick Stewart.
Oh, God.
Nonagenarian Patrick Stewart. Teaching a potentially underage actress to make pottery in the most sexual way possible. The 80s was a weird time for movies. Like, things that should not have ever happened. Need we talk about Blue Lagoon?
Blue Lagoon?
Do you not know about Blue Lagoon?
I don't think I know about Blue Lagoon. Tell me about Blue Lagoon.
In Blue Lagoon, these two cousins
Okay.
get shipwrecked on a deserted island.
Uh-huh.
And they spend most of the movie naked.
Oh.
Okay. That's important. Also, they have a baby together.
So, in the creative world, that is what you would call a passion project.
Mm.
Yes.
Yes.
A creator who had a very specific goal for the medium in which he was trying to produce.
It was very important to the director that they both be just as tan as possible for this. But the hardest part of the whole thing to let past is the fact that the boy, who was like supposed to be similar in age to the girl character, was played by an 18-year-old, and the girl character was 14. It was an actress who was 14.
Oh no! Oh no!
And she was also naked on set, but on any of this, don't worry though, in any of the scenes where she was going to be topless, they made sure to glue her hair to her boobs for the scene. Because that's basically clothing.
Oh.
That makes it okay.
The initial images are concerning.
And the 18-year-old actor was definitely doing all of his own nude scenes with the 14-year-old, which I feel is a crime.
So,
I don't know how that works in Hollywood. I guess things are just okay there.
I have some concerning statistics. Has an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes, so that's good. A 5.8 out of 10 from IMDb.
Okay, that makes sense.
But 78% of Google users liked this movie.
That tracks.
But at the same time, the people who would say they liked that movie, I'm sure, were the ones that have specifically searched out and watched the movie via a streaming platform.
Yeah, they most definitely have. They don't have that. They have it in a DVD somewhere with like director's cut or something like that.
I feel like a VHS would be would
Yeah,
be
it's on a
my mental
VHS.
canon.
You know, the weird part is I've seen it in the 90s on daytime TV. It was on television.
Hmm. It was a different time.
Like, you know, like parents got all up in arms about Power Rangers being violent. And then they were like, let's watch Blue Lagoon instead.
Although, if you were to have just said the words um, "80s movies child actress," uh,
Oh God,
that's who my
that doesn't
uh,
give you any. That doesn't like narrow anything down.
no, but just look at the lead actress of Blue Lagoon, just like a face shot. Uh, that's like a quintessential facial type.
Actress. Oh yeah, yeah. That's like every actress. Like if I were to
But
ask an AI
specifically of that
generator
area
at this
era.
time, yeah, if I were to ask an AI to come up with a face for a 1980s movie actress,
Hmm.
um, that'd be all of them. It's just that's what was her name?
Uh,
Emmeline Lestrange? Brooke Shields.
those are two very different names.
It's Brooke Shields.
One's an actual
Brooke
person.
Christ.
The other is the pen name for a romance novelist.
It could be Brooke Shields. She could be writing romance novels. Oh God, she has way too much lipstick on in that shot. There's just so much lipstick.
It's a very 80s amount of lipstick.
No, this is like it was okay probably in the 80s for you to wear this amount of lipsticks, but this is a modern day photo of her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Some say she never left a Blue Lagoon.
I mean, she had a hot boyfriend who was also her cousin. I mean, just like look at the cover photo of Blue Lagoon. Just screams, please, please don't.
Call help. Blue Lagoon
This
is a code word for
Blue
help
Lagoon,
me.
Blue Lagoon. Oh God, yes, we'll be right on the way. Help is on the way. Just stay strong. Like there's some pretty weird ones out there. I remember when I was working at Great Wolf, we had what was it? We always had the Disney Channel playing on the TVs
Okay.
because it's a kids' place. Makes sense. And I'm closing up one night and I'm coming out to see if the bartender's finished up. And we're gonna go get drinks. And on Disney Channel, there are these kids in a classroom who have tied a half-naked boy to the teacher's desk and are ritualistically covering him in honey as a sacrifice to their hot teacher, who might be a vampire. I'm not sure. But multiple people had to sign off on this scene. Like, the director was like, yeah, one of the kids is gonna be in his boxers, and then we're gonna tie him to a desk. And then the other kids are gonna circle him and cover him in honey.
So again, we go back to passion projects.
Passion projects, yes. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, I feel like you could just weed out your worst directors just by like, okay, we're gonna give you some money, and I just want you, just like, here's your budget. Pitch to me what your idea is going to be. Oh, okay, okay, yeah, you're blacklisted. 'Cause wow, no. You're not allowed to do that. This is like 2022. We don't do that anymore.
Not only are we going to turn down your offer, but we're also not allowed within 400 feet of an elementary school.
Yeah. Yeah, doors that way. You're gonna have to use that door though, because There are children that way. Please, please don't ever come back here. It's kind of like Lord of the Flies, the movie Lord of the Flies.
Hmm.
They basically just took a bunch of boys, put them in their underwear, and said, "Run around on the island. We're gonna film a movie about you." It's like, oh, why?
What was the overall theme of that book?
Oh, the idea was that without uh, the strong leadership, society would just break down.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, because the boys were left on the island without strong leaders, just their own leaders, and it just society breaks down into tribalism, and then mm, barbaric acts occur, and then children start murdering each other. That's just how it happens. It's how it happens.
Gosh,
Even though it's been completely refuted sociologically speaking.
did you hear about that one elementary school where they had a weak kindergarten teacher?
Yeah,
Gosh.
that teacher was killed.
She erased the type her. She misspelled her name and she erased it, and that was just the end of it.
Like, they didn't even know what the words meant, what the letters meant. They just assumed that she had made a mistake.
They saw failure.
They saw failure, tied her to a blackboard, and dragged her outside. Left her in the sunlight for 32 hours straight. They kept moving with the sun.
I mean, authorities were very impressed with the knots that they employed.
We didn't even teach them this. Like, where is this coming from? How do you know this?
The teacher was found adhered to the blackboard with strips upon strips of Velcro removed from the children's shoes.
Small, and then held in place with large amounts of glue that had teeth marks gnawing at it.
Glue and glitter.
Glue and glitter glue.
Glitter. Oh god, that's a
The
thing,
ne-
isn't it?
That is a thing. That's a thing. First they made glue, then they made glitter, then they put the glitter in the glue, then they turned the glue into goo, and then they realized that they could turn the glitter glue into glue, and it was just an anarchy.
The teacher survived off of eating dried macaroni.
Kept her calories up. And stale juice boxes that had fermented into just hard cider.
The class rabbit has yet to be found.
Fluffy is assumed dead. I mean, it's public school. What do you expect?
Oh, it takes me back. Did I tell you
I
about?
remember my years.
Did I tell you about last time I went up to Maine? We went by my old town.
Oh, I knew you went up to Maine, but I didn't know you went by your old town.
So the school, the K through 8 school I went to, is now the town offices.
Oh, wow, that's a strange change.
Oh, that's not the strange change.
Oh.
There's a new vocational high school in the town center where the old supermarket used to be.
Did all the businesses take a step to the left?
Well, quite frankly, I was amazed, even growing up there, at being a backwoods little snot-nosed brat, in the fact that our town of 400 had two um, grocery stores,
That is actually
like
impressive.
in the same vicinity. So, what surprised me was the relatively nicer one is the one that got turned into a high school, and the kind of dumpy one is still chugging along.
Everybody underestimated us, but we ran our competitors out of business. Now they don't have a choice. Greasy Joe's, it's the only place to shop. It's Greasy Joe's because everything's covered in a slight layer of grease.
I got that. Thank you.
We don't know why. I didn't put the grease in here. It's here when I got here. Please buy the grease.
It's legacy grease.
I greased up all of our prices. What does that even mean? I don't know. They're just greasy.
We got the greasiest prices in town.
Wait, are you selling snake oil? No, snake oil is far too rich for us. That's at the pharmacy. What is it? My cousins,
Oh, this ought to be good.
they lived in
A bridge.
Warwick. No, this was when they were taken in by other family members. They didn't have to live under a bridge.
Oh, wow. They got a furlough.
Yeah, they did. But they did have to go to a school where like kindergarten and first grade were in the same room, and then second grade and third grade were the same class.
Oh, okay.
So like, cause like they had a graduating class of like 5 kids.
All right. Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
I can relate to an extent.
Mhm.
Mine had 12.
Wow, you guys were up and coming, weren't you? Look at us, we have funding for 12 kids.
That's why we need you.
But like,
I mean, we had 2 grocery stores.
wow, someone's from a rich neighborhood. Westminster only had 1 grocery store. We were fine because we didn't shop at that grocery store. It was terrible. The prices were way too high.
They weren't greasy?
They were not greasy.
Or were they too greasy?
Too greased, not greasy enough? I don't know.
Were there trans fats in the prices?
Oh, there were definitely trans fats in the prices. But weirdly enough, like the first aisle usually contained that random thing that you needed.
Mhm.
You need like some vague Asian sauce for your recipe. It's definitely in that first aisle in a can. There's like 2 of them. It also costs like $2 more than it would anywhere else, but you know.
We keep the
pay
hoisin
for
sauce
convenience.
next to the chocolate syrup and the other...
It was. It absolutely was because it was at the end. So like when you came around the aisle, that end cap
Mhm.
was actually chocolate sauce, strawberry sauce, and caramel sauce, and a couple of other like ice cream condiments,
Speaking
which
of
you'd
which...
think would have been in the last aisle next to the ice cream freezer, but it wasn't.
You know, I actually had to buy some of that stuff for the gelato I made. And you're right.
Really?
I
Oh yeah,
walked
how
around...
was that?
It's still... So, I got for Christmas one of these like ninja things. So it doesn't make ice cream in the traditional way where you just kind of spin it in rock salt for 2 hours.
Mhm.
You put it in these containers, you freeze them overnight, and then you essentially put it into a very, very fine blender.
Oh, okay, yeah,
It,
that makes
it
sense.
just brute forces it into being ice cream.
It was ice, and now it's iced cream.
I call it American style. It's just brute forced.
Just beat it until it works.
Yeah.
I like that.
But yeah,
That's pretty American.
I went looking for just some stuff to add to it, and it took me a lot longer than I anticipated to find caramel.
Right? Because you're like, what aisle is that in?
I would have sworn it was either in the one labeled syrups or the one labeled baked baking needs.
Nah, it's never in the baking needs aisle.
No, it was with the bread.
With the bread?
Yeah, the bread was
Yeah,
on one
that
side
makes
and then
sense.
just random bullshit on the
Parm.
other.
Yeah, like that random aisle.
Mm.
It's weird. Like occasionally I go for shopping for something that I don't normally have to pick up, and I look up and I'm like, well, my choices are the bread aisle, the canned aisle, the fruit juice aisle. Which of these is supposed to contain, I don't know, sardines?
You
Fun
know,
fact, it's in with the potato chips.
so I guess we're going to do something special, just having a New Year's Day podcast.
Oh, yeah, this is oh, it is. It's gonna be New Year's Day soon.
Yeah, 3 minutes.
We have 3 minutes till the end of this year. Oh, did you hear the other Pope died?
Died.
Yeah, the spare Pope is dead.
Which one was a spare pope?
The one that retired.
The one.
The one that
Okay.
looked like
Okay.
death.
The auxiliary pope.
Yes,
That's weird because I didn't look into that too much, but I remember seeing some headline being like, "New Pope says old Pope is doing fine," and he does like the Buddy Christ at the camera.
I mean, I guess he's not doing so fine anymore. Although they're Catholic, so like he's probably in heaven,
He's
according to them.
Yeah.
So like, I guess still doing fine.
Imagine if
We're just doing awful.
let's just say that all the Catholics go to the Catholic heaven and all that good such, and you have all your popes hanging out together, who did like full on pope tours, like veteran
yeah.
popes, and then
Veteran popes.
this new guy shows up. He's like, "Oh, I was pope." He's like, "Oh yeah, how long did you do?" Like,
It's
"Oh,
like 3 years.
yeah, 3 years until I stopped." What?
I retired. he, he retired a long time ago too.
Yeah, imagine being ostracized in heaven as a pope.
Like he was retired longer than he was pope. I mean, like, kudos to him. He just walks up, puts on his glasses, like sunglasses, and is like, "You idiots! Like, you had to serve for years. I just retired, took one of the castles with me."
I feel like that shouldn't be okay. I feel like that whole situation would have been a no-no.
I feel like you're not supposed to retire. Like, your retirement package from being pope is death. It's just death.
Yeah.
You die. That's like your boss is calling you in for your performance review.
So if you stop being pope, does that like mean that God took away your papacy, your popely powers, your badge
I
and
don't know,
gun?
like, do you still have some pope power? Can you rub your hands together and do some like minor miracles?
Well, wasn't there a
Apparently, you get to keep the summer castle, so like, what
Wasn't-
really matters?
wasn't there a whole tough back in the day because there were two popes?
There were 3 popes, and it was awful.
Yeah, wasn't that kind of just frowned upon by the general
Yeah.
populace?
Yeah, we called it a schism, and it led to like 30 years of war. Until all but one of the popes was dead, and it wasn't even one of the good popes. And there was like, well, at least there's only one of them.
I guess it's good that no major wars came out of the result of.
Well, you know, like this current pope was talking about also retiring. And I was like, we're gonna have 3 popes again. This isn't good. It's never good.
What are the duties of the pope?
I mean, I guess Catholicism. I don't know, like whatever it takes to run St. Peter's Basilica.
I don't want to diminish the pope's duties, but I feel as though it's just kind of just steering the ship at this point.
I mean, occasionally he has to show up in places in a Pope mobile.
Yeah,
Maybe drum up membership.
you kind of got to that point because you know, ran your way up the Catholicism ladder. You've had some
you've
sort
done
of
all
purpose.
the cathol that you
Yeah.
need. You've got all the cathol.
Catholic. I'm a Catholic. Gosh. That's imprinted on a
That's what I
wine
call my
mug's-
wine drink. Yeah, that's a. I'm just extra Jesus.
Just
Where
ref-
I'm going, I don't need the body of Christ. I've had all the blood.
just referring to wine as cathol.
Just cathahol.
It's okay, I'm a catholic.
Go to meet the Pope and you drink a bottle of wine so you're extra powerful. It's like, ah, yes, I see the Christ is strong with you. Yes. Start dueling with your cathol powers. Just minor miracles everywhere, like half resurrections.
They got pills for that nowadays.
Oh, the Pope, can you come here? I can't get it up anymore. It's endangering my whole marriage. Can you save me? Oh, Pope, please. Oh, let me lay hands on you, son. Oh, there it goes. Haha, still got it. Oh, because they're used to, getting erections.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they're used to touching the genitals of much younger males.
Yes, exactly. That's what they're used to. They're like professional fluffers, but more as like hobbyists. Every cardinal knows how to do that. It's the secret handshake. Oh, I'm going to Catholic hell at some point.
Well, you may see one pope there.
Probably gonna see a few.
They kicked
And,
me out of the club.
There was one pope that put a dead pope on trial.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he had the dead pope's corpse dragged out of a crypt and put on trial. And like he had one of the kids go through and like move his mouth for responses.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up.
That
The current popes are pretty tame. I'm not gonna lie. Like even that last guy, Benedict was pretty creepy looking, but like not so creepy as to drag a corpse into a courtroom.
well, there's still time.
No, there's not. He can't do that anymore. But the current pope could.
Oh wait, was Benedict the one that? I thought Benedict was a new
he's
one.
dead. No, Benedict was the last one.
Oh man, I'm really behind on my popes. Who's the new pope?
Like kind of cool pope. Like he's like, sure, the gays
A
can get married. Pope.
Backwards flat cap and a skateboard over his shoulder.
Hello, fellow youth. Current pope is. I don't think that's him. That's the dead one. Google, you failed me. I googled current pope and it says Benedict the 5, 6, 10, 16th. Seriously, guys, pick some new names.
It's just like the first Google recommended question. How powerful is the Pope? How much can the Pope bench?
How much power does the Pope have? Oh, Francis! Pope Francis. He's the current Pope.
Sounds like a good boy name.
Benedict died. Francis is still alive. Benedict was the scary Pope. That was Scary Spice.
Scary Pope.
The Pope boys. If you want to be my father, gotta get with my Christ. might not last forever, but salvation never ends. Scary Spice. Scary Pope. Oh god, he really is creepy. God, why? How did he become Pope? Did you know, you don't even have to be Catholic to become Pope.
Really? I
Yeah,
guess.
if you got all the bishops to vote for you, you could just be Pope.
Hmm.
I could become Pope. It is a non-zero possibility
You
that
know,
I could be Pope.
you hear about election tampering a lot from, other countries. I mean, you hear things. I'm not sure if I ever read the documents of them saying that they were, you know, confirmed. But you think anybody's ever tried to, like, outside of the Catholic Church, ever tried to interfere with the word I can't remember.
The
Tabernacle?
choosening?
Yeah.
No,
No,
I
not
think
tabernacle.
tabernacle is just like a.
That's just a
I have no idea what a tabernacle is. Like they
thing.
call their churches that. The choosening.
The choosing. Select givings.
That's happy selectionings.
Uh, that word that I am
What do you
thinking.
call it when you choose a new pope?
According to BBC, popes are chosen by the College of
Oh,
Cardinals,
it's
Church's
the
most senior
papal
officials,
election
who are appointed by the Pope and usually ordaining bishops.
in
They are summoned to a
conclave.
meeting at the Vatican, which is followed by the papal election, or conclave.
Yeah, they have a papal election which is called conclave.
I swear there's an actual word for it though.
I'm personal to choosening.
Okay, I'll go with choosing.
Yeah, the choosening. And that's when they burn all the things, and if it turns black, they have a pope, and if it turns white, they no. If it's black, they don't have a pope. If it's white, they get a pope. Wouldn't it suck if everybody voted and they threw the papers in the fire and someone was like, "Did anyone count that up?" Nope, Jerry just threw it into the the fire again. He's the worst cardinal we have.
What if you get gray smoke?
That's a 50-50 split. It's a hung jury. It's like 10,000 years of bad luck or something. No pope.
You could get like colored smoke, like green and yellows,
Really confuse people.
smoke signals.
Do we have a pope? What does that one mean? I don't know. I think they're asking for help. They've selected. It's their order for dinner. It's their dinner order coming out in smoke signals. So that's gonna be 2 sea bass, 1 fillet. It's a mid rare, and someone's getting a salad split. Idiots.
Oh God, there's a correction,
Oh no!
a
Special
substitution.
request. According to the smoke, they'd like grilled asparagus instead of the sautéed parsnips.
I just got upset by you saying those words.
It's so annoying.
You just saying that gave me a negative reaction.
Oh, it's what is it? We got to tell our people just to fuck off tonight. Our chef was just like, listen, there are no substitutions tonight. I have no staff. No, someone is gonna come in. They're gonna say, I just want a filet mignon instead of the ribeye. No, they can get the ribeye or they can have nothing. They want the ribeye and they want it split on 2 plates. Guess what? You tell them that you'll bring out 2 plates, but we're not cutting the ribeye in half. No
Why?
substitutions. They get exactly what comes with each item, or they get nothing.
Well, I never.
Someone complained about it.
Really?
Well, you're saying that we have the steak any other time, but that we can't cook it right now? Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Oh. But no. I have been here all week. Our chef is quite done after today. Half of our staff is either quit or out sick.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I just told him, listen, if I get substitutions, some of you won't have a job tomorrow. Oh, okay.
So really bringing in the new year with the right step forward there, huh? As far as
Yeah.
co-workers go.
Oh, by the way, happy 12 minutes into the new year.
Oh, I meant at 11:57 to be like, I will definitely keep an eye on the clock for the next 3 minutes.
Yeah, I did too, and then I put my phone down to Google the Pope.
Pope stuff, yeah.
Pope stuff. He's an absolute monarch. If he really wanted to, he could recall all of his people to the Vatican and then have the Swiss Guard execute them.
That's right. I suppose he could, couldn't he?
I mean, like, they have those. The Vatican has secret files on all the various pedophiles in the church.
Mm-hmm.
They could just recall the pedophiles and execute them. Like, I feel like that'd be a good public relations.
Yet they haven't.
Yet they haven't. Like, if I was Pope, I would be a remembered Pope. Probably not for my kindness. But Pope, you don't even believe in hell, and yet you preach fire and brimstone all the time. I know, I'm an atheist Pope. What can I say? I'm angry at all of you.
Pope John the Concerning.
John the Concerning. Yes. That's my papal title. And it's not J-O-H-N. It's gonna be J-O-N. That way I don't have to put a, like, Pope John Paul the 29th on there. Attach a long one instead of Roman. This is John the First. The Concerning. So I saw a clip recently for a BBC show called The Dairy Girls, and it's about a Catholic girls' school.
Okay.
And the mother running it is just the snarkiest woman out there possible.
Wonderful.
And at one point she says something along the lines of, it's just like we have to believe in things, and sometimes you just don't believe in God, even if he doesn't exist, or... What were we talking about? and just... the BBC loves to put on Catholics that may or may not believe in God.
They do, don't they?
It happens. It seems to be a common thread, but it's hilarious. If he even exists. Wait, what? Nothing.
I've noticed, at least with Father Ted, that the pro God justifications that they have on the show always are very weak. And it's just kind of like we believe this because we believe this thing, as opposed to a priest that would actually believe in God.
Yeah, like, I don't have an actual strong calling to it. I just, I was in some trouble.
Financial trouble.
And I had to get out of town, and so I became a priest. It's like heaven, hell, and everlasting life. You're not actually supposed to believe in it.
So who exactly are the, what do you call them, dairy girls?
The Derry Girls, Derry.
Oh, Derry. Okay, not like
Yeah, Derry as in a place in England,
I was thinking like
I guess.
the girls that milk the cows for the church, like some sort of lighthearted
I'm not
version.
gonna lie. So I did not see it written out the first time I heard it. Uh, them being called the Derry Girls. I'm like, I mean, I guess she's got larger breasts, but like she's supposed to be playing a teenager. Like,
Let's
is
say
that
like
okay?
a lighthearted
Oh,
version.
Derry, like the place in England. That makes a lot more sense.
I was thinking like a lighthearted version of the Magdalene Laundries.
Oh, it's Sister Michelle. She's the one who runs the Catholic school.
So,
Like the girls start fighting with a Protestant boys' school,
mhm.
and the one of the other sisters, oh my God, we have to stop this, and she's like, nah, let him go for a little bit longer. Ooh.
So, do you have any plans for the new year? Any exciting goals?
Exciting goals for the new year. I mean, I think I'm going to finally set up an appointment with my eye doctor so I can get new glasses. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
new year, new glasses.
I was really going to say with a primary care physician. It's like, John, you're
Or maybe.
in your 30s.
I mean, I have health insurance.
I am really not one to talk. It took me so long from the point that I got real big boy insurance to the point where I made an appointment with a primary care.
I think, I think my only issue with it really is,
Who's got the time?
yeah, like I have most of my time is because I work days, so it's like 9 to 5. You know, when doctors' offices are open for some ungodly reason, and like I have Mondays off, like, and Sunday. And it's like, well, they're not open on Sundays because doctors are like banks, which also oddly don't work on Sundays. That that doesn't explain anything, just that the banks aren't open. But like I had a doctor back in Massachusetts that I had a long time, and now I have to get a new one.
Oh, you should fly your doctor down whenever you have a belly, stomach.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have to see him all that often at the end there. Like, I mostly would call in things. I'm like, hey, I'm feeling this. Oh, I'll prescribe something for you. Okay, cool. But yeah, I haven't had a doctor since I moved down here.
Wow.
I mean, the first year was because I didn't have like health insurance. 'Cause job didn't offer it. But I mean, for the last year and a half, I've had health insurance. I guess there's no excuse for it.
Yeah, the guilt eventually built up to the point where I did something about it. Like,
Right? Like occasionally you get sick and you think, damn, I don't want to seem desperate by setting up a PCP now. Like, like I've got a rash and it's really concerning, doc. That's why I wanted to want to be one of your new patients.
first impressions are important.
I want to come to them with the minimal of health concerns, and then be like, also my arm is falling off. If you could do something about that. I don't want to seem like a high maintenance patient. I don't want to inconvenience my doctor too much by forcing them to diagnose stuff. Doctor, like I don't mean to like be too. Do you have any other concerns? Well, like, um, I've been bleeding from my neck for the past week and a half, and I've felt lightheaded ever since. Could you take a look at it if it's not too hard? Oh my God, there's a knife in your neck. Oh, well, that
See,
would explain a lot, actually.
I assume, but
The
I'm not a
stabbing
doctor,
pain.
so stabbing.
Is that a bad thing, Doctor? Are knives not supposed to be there?
You know, I just woke up one day and I saw it, so I just figured it was one of those things that happens as you get older.
Yeah, like, it was, well, when did this happen? Like, oh, well, I turned like 32 last year, and when I woke up on my birthday, there was a knife in my neck, so I just figured it was like, oh, this must be 32. It's like, yeah, I just don't want to get a PCP while I'm sick or something and be like, I'm kind of dying, Doc. If you could help me, that'd be great. Be like, ugh, people only come to me when they're unhealthy.
No one ever stops in to say hi. No one
Yeah.
asks. No one asks how I'm feeling today.
As a cook, I know how I feel about people coming in when they're hungry and wanting food. So I assume that every profession handles it similarly.
I would really prefer it if my patrons came to my restaurant not hungry. I just think it'd be an overall better experience for everyone.
Ideally, guests would just come in, leave some money, and go away. I think I'm trying to set up a church. I'm not gonna. I might be trying to run a church. I got into the wrong profession. Should have been a priest.
Hey, I'm sure we can find 8 old dudes to vote for you. Get that ball rolling.
And like we haven't had a new form of Christianity since the Mormons, so like maybe I could start a new one.
Yeah, just say you, I don't know, found a tablet while walking through your suburb, and it had all the blueprints for the real, true, honest to goodness religion.
Yeah, like the Archangel Uriel came to me, and I found some parchments. They were ancient scrolls kept in some pottery that may or may not have been made by a ghost. And when I read those scrolls, all of the symbols left them. That's why the scrolls disappeared, they disintegrated, but all the ink went onto my body in like tattoos. But then they all became invisible. And now the Archangel Uriel reads the tattoos to me because they're on my back. And I can't see back there.
He sends the signals to my brain using 3D electricity.
He uses 3D electricity. Oh, I'm getting a message. He says, everybody give me 50 cents.
Fucking lemonade stand. Tides.
Everybody gets a little bit of lemonade. I get to have the tequila. That's how my bishops will work like that. Like, the sermon starts off sober, but in between each verse, you have to take a shot. Try and get through your entire sermon. Yeah, it's a drinking game. That's how you get to heaven. 7 minutes to heaven. It's not a healthy way of doing it, probably, but you know what? It's not meant to be healthy.
I mean,
It's a spiritual journey. He's not even reading from the Bible anymore. He has a copy of War and Peace. Who has copies of War and Peace? I don't even have that, and I have a library.
I mean, it's a big book.
It is a big book. Although, to be fair, I do have a Webster's dictionary that's like huge.
That has to have like nearly half of all the words in there.
Yeah, at least half. A massive dictionary.
I don't get it.
You will one day.
Is that a threat?
You never know when I'm gonna send a dick pic. Just a picture of me with my dictionary.
Oh no. Jeez.
Oh, that'd be a great opener for an online dating thing.
Oh gosh, just
Be like, get ready for a dick pic, and then hold up a Webster's dictionary.
just see. It's like a game. I see if I can send it before I get blocked.
The trick is to take the picture before you send the first message.
And you just get like.
And if they say yes, you already know that they're into your humor. I cracked the code to dating. Did it.
You did it, John.
I'm not gonna use it. I'm gonna write it down in the Vatican secret
I mean,
files and keep that locked away.
It's too powerful.
It's too powerful. Man is not ready for it. I've read the sci-fi movies. We ruin every place we go to.
What if this gets in the hands of the incel forums, John? Have you not considered
Oh God. Oh no. They wouldn't be able to do that. They don't own dictionaries.
this? Who needs a dictionary when you have a 230 IQ that you got from a free online quiz?
Oh yeah, those things. Do you remember, like, in the elder days of the internet, when there were like all sorts of quizzes? Like any show that you wanted to, they would have a quiz to tell you which character you were. And it was like an actual quiz. And then later on, they just abbreviated to just like click on this thing, and it'll show you which character you're supposed to be.
Facebook still does that heavily.
Oh no, Facebook now does it with every woman has a secret pain. Click on this to show you what your angel name is.
Angel.
It's just got some ridiculous stuff typed up for it. Like your curse is that you care too much for everyone. It's true, I do, like I just do and do for everyone, and no one does for me.
You're too good of a friend.
You're too good. Too good. That's your biggest flaw.
Gosh, there's only so many times you could put that on a resume.
I mean...
If only I had
if you
a
don't get a job, you
thesaurus
can
next to
keep
my
doing it.
massive dictionary.
Don't be ridiculous. You can't keep those two things together.
They're like magnets. Yeah. They repel each other.
They're like magnets, but if magnets were also oil and water. They want to be with each other, but they can't mix.
Oh, I see. The dictionary is the jets, and the thesaurus is the other one.
Yes, exactly.
What was the other one?
Benny? Benny and the Jets?
No, West Side Story. Wasn't it the Jets and the
That's a good
Badgers?
Like, they both just snap their fingers at each other threateningly.
The Wildcats?
Oh.
I'm gonna name my street name the same as a high school football mascot. We shall be feared far and wide.
We are the Bulldogs. And the female chapter of our particular street gang is the Lady Bulldogs. They don't win many games, but neither do we. It's funny because my high school was actually the Bulldogs. and we didn't win a lot of things.
It's so generic. I love it.
Like, so in our
I-
gym, they had the flags that have like, each year who won which tournaments, and your flag is supposed to have like your name on it.
Uh-huh.
We just had a bunch of dates because we didn't win any of them. It was just years with nothing on it. It was really sad.
I just love that the lady, the all female version for your tough street gang, the counterpart to which are the Bulldogs, is not any form of the word bitch. It's just the lady Bulldogs.
No, we're very respectful to our women. They are allowed to have a separate yet equal title.
I mean,
In
their
our
funding
teams.
isn't nearly as good, but
We don't fund them, and we make them throw a larger, heavier ball over greater distances. Also, the coaches have cattle prods. It's not in the rules, but we feel it makes things better. Because they are women and they need to know that life is terrible for them.
we hired a coach for the Bulldogs, and then we just give a stipend to the gym teacher for the Lady Bulldogs.
We hired a coach. No, we didn't give a stipend to the gym teacher. We just hired a guy off the street. He has no resume. He didn't want the job.
But he brought his own clipboard.
And he was already wearing short shorts, so you know he's legitimate. Also, the women will be required to wear long clothing, especially when it's hot outside. Because modesty is important. The dugouts will have no covering because the sun will teach them what it's like to live in the patriarchy. Under the watchful eye of their male counterparts.
They get 7/8
Meanwhile, the
of a
boys
full
will be
team.
You have to choose. Do you want someone on first base, or do you want someone to potentially be swinging the bat? You don't get both. At least two of your team members have to have cancer. They'll die tragically. Will there be counseling? Yeah, we'll ask you to see the guidance counselor. Is he a therapist? No.
Wait, are we talking about how shitty public school systems are, or how shitty
pretty
sexism still is?
I'm pretty sure that both of those things are covered under the same umbrella.
Okay, one does beget the other.
One does beget the other, yes. I remember when I was in high school, I went through a trigonometry class. We did like intro to trig in my junior year, and it was awful. I couldn't figure any of it out. I was so lost, and I realized that physics, which was our senior science class, used some level of trigonometry, and that I'm just like, I'm not going to be able to do this, and I'm going to not go to the college prep version of it. I'm going to go to the AP Physics, because that's where me and my stupid brain belong. And I was in that classroom with the football team and the cheerleaders.
That's
And,
so
first,
your natural social environment.
you know what? I will give it because our school sucked at sports. We didn't have like really like asshole jocks.
So they weren't jocks; they were just kids who had parents that had higher expectations.
Yeah, they really wanted their kids to play football, and they seemed to like it. They weren't going anywhere with it, and everyone knew that. But they were nice. They were all very nice people. I had nothing wrong with them. Like, there were other assholes in the school. The whole place could have burned down with them guys included in it, and it would have been fine. But like the football team, they were nice, and the cheerleaders, like, They were not good at cheer.
What about leading?
Nope.
I'll say they would have been first to go on the island.
I mean, to be fair, they were a little better off than the football team. They were probably better at leading than the football team. Because our football team, the first day they came in, they all shouted, "Oh yeah, we all got mohawks over the summer." I'm like, cool. And it's like, yeah, because Jerry got the mohawk. I'm like, oh, is he on the team? And he's like, nah, Jerry's just some guy. Who's
So
Jerry?
a role model to you children.
Some random delinquent. I've never heard of Jerry. He wasn't going to our school. He was just some guy who got a mohawk, and they were all like, yeah, let's all get mohawks. And then the teacher tried to teach us physics. Here's the egg. When I drop it on the ground, the egg breaks.
I don't believe you.
Never-
That doesn't sound right.
But if I put a pillow down and I drop the egg on the pillow, it doesn't break. And I thought they were going to burn her at a stake for witchcraft.
Just jumping
you
up
do
and down
that?
on the table, making chimpanzee
Smashing
noises,
piles of bones.
throwing feces.
I don't understand. My whole world's collapsing around me. Just like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. We learned the same thing 3 times over.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, like the second day we're doing the same thing, and I'm like, oh, these are all the same things that we did yesterday. And I'm thinking, oh, well, it's an applied class. They're using repetition. This makes sense. Then we got to the 3rd day, and we were doing the exact same thing again. We didn't add anything to it. It was just a repeat of the last day, just rephrased a 3rd different way.
Oh, that sounds awful.
And I got up and I went to the teacher and I said, you are a wonderful teacher and you've been very kind, but I need to transfer out of this class.
Can I go to the class where they only repeat it twice? I think that'll be a good speed for me.
They're not allowed to repeat it. It was college prep. I will say something once. It'll be offhanded and you won't be expecting it, but it will be on the test. Jump through the flaming hoop. What's the square root of 10,000? I don't know. I don't understand.
Trick question. There is no square root of 10,000.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
Is there? I don't know math.
So the thing about math is, the thing about math, I can understand math if I'm actively using it in either some class or day to day. Like, I can get my head around it, I can understand it, but I was in calculus over 2 years ago, and back then I was like, yeah, okay, this makes sense. I now could not remember any of the actual rules.
You're just looking at it like, what are the hieroglyphs? What do they mean?
Yes. Gosh, when I was first doing the testing, the Navy testing to see like what rate I would get chosen for, the ASVAB and all that, because I got just under the threshold for the nuke program. I think I scored a 90 on the line score or the ASVAB, and I think you had to do somewhere between 90 and 99. So they had me take this extra special math test to see if I could get like the waiver to go into the nuke program. And I'm
Well, you didn't quite make it, but we think maybe. Try it again.
so the paper they gave me it was frustrating because I had not taken calculus, pre-cal, anything like that. I came off of Johnson Wales 2 years prior, for Christ's sake.
Oh, yeah. We
So
didn't do calculus until the senior year.
when it came down to addition, multiplication, division, and trig stuff, I was okay. But I just simply didn't recognize the shapes that were on the paper in front of me. I was like, oh, I could probably do these if I knew what the fuck I was looking at.
What is this? I don't understand. For a long time, math was like my worst class. Which I mean was still like B's, but not great.
Oh, you're one of
Uh,
those
mo-
kids.
Yeah, but the only reason it was B's was because I was doing all the homework and it wasn't like corrected. It was just like, oh yeah, you did the homework, you get points for that. Oh, thank God. None of it's right, but I wrote things in there. Um,
Okay. That
was-
seems
it
easy
was
to
bad.
cheat at.
uh, maybe, but like honor system works really well for me because I have that voice inside my head that tells me not to do things.
The crippling guilt, yes.
The crippling guilt, the Catholic guilt. Um, but what was it? I got into high school and I got into like an easier algebra class.
Mhm.
And the teacher taught it different than any other way. Like she was taping us to each other to teach how the brackets work and stuff like that. And for the first time, I was understanding math. I'm like, oh, okay. Everybody else was just teaching me math like I already understood math. And the math wasn't mathing.
Yeah, that. I know what you mean. I feel like growing up, if I had some more time to be explained to properly why I was
It's just
doing the
like-
maths.
Yeah, they're just like, here's a sheet full of math problems. If you do all the math problems, you'll just know math.
Or at least be able to get a D on the test and then forget everything and move on to the next topic.
Fortunately, they're completely unrelated.
I was so disconnected as a student and not really understanding the process in elementary school in that I did not build the previous lesson towards the next lesson. So when the next lesson came up, I treated it as though it were a brand new facet.
Like a whole new thing.
Yeah. And besides, the basics of addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, like
I wouldn't go as far as saying anything about division. That is witchcraft, if you ask me.
yeah, it's interesting that division is harder than multiplication for
Yeah,
me
multiplication is just like special addition, and then division is just like it's fancy subtraction, but it's a little too fancy for me.
anyways. Fancy subtraction.
It's upper middle class subtraction. Unfortunately, I'm lower middle class, so I just couldn't get it.
I like how special edition is also special edition. It's the special edition of addition.
It is. And then they just like keep adding other things, and then they start telling you like, well, there are some problems that you just can't solve. It's like, the whole point of the last 17 years of schooling has been to teach me how to solve the math problems. Now you're telling me that not solving it was an option? Yeah, but you still got to show your work. Does it help? Does it help you to know where I went wrong in this? No, you just didn't do this right at any point. Are you going to teach me how to do it right? Nope, we're on to the next section.
So you know how I did online classes after I discharged from the Navy, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's when I took the majority of my. I've taken pre-calculus like 3 times, just in different institutions, just because of the way military tuition works when you're in and when you're out.
Okay.
But they all use a self-paced online module when you do online classes.
Okay.
So
See that?
you're given a problem, and then you have a how do I solve this button that's not like visible. You have to go through a settings menu to find it, and there's a step by step that goes over the problem. And it is an okay way of learning it, just because it's okay if you're understanding the words that they're saying to you.
Yeah.
Like, if at any point you don't understand something that was previously understood, it's just a series of scribbles that are
Ew.
required for
Yeah.
for solving the thing. But
Ugh.
what I ended up doing is I ended up taking like writing down the steps one by one and writing notes and learning it that way,
Oh, okay.
which was tedious.
It would not make me want to continue doing any of that.
No, it definitely took a while.
Just like, do I have to? Is there a faster way of doing this? Can I just use a calculator?
I mean, I suppose it's online. Were they gonna monitor your browser history?
I see that at this time you opened up your computer's calculator app. 10 points off.
Uh, I was hoping you'd be distracted by the multiple porn tabs.
Joke's on you. Oh, those are already on my tabs.
Aha. just just learning how to.
It's a level of closeness I would not want to my professors.
I'm just learning how to multiply with a captive audience.
Getting over my fear of public learning. My fear of public education. So I like to do math with an audience. Somewhere out there, there's an OnlyFans for that. So I hear about the like the new math, like all the terrible things that people say. Oh, there's the new math. They're doing it this way, and it's confusing to me because it's
Maths.
different from the way. Yeah, why? Why are they doing it different and new? And I'm thinking, looking at it, and I said, oh, they're using this so that they come at the same problems from multiple different directions in the hopes that, the kids like myself who just didn't learn it that first way might get it if they say it a different way. Instead of just saying, no, like, it's just this. I'm like, but that isn't working out for me. It's just 1 + 1. It's like, it's not working out for me. Well, what if you added 1 to 1? If Betty has 20 apples and I take away 6, and then Sue comes along and offers to give you 12 shares of her stock in her company, how much is your Roth IRA going to be in 10 years? I don't know.
I mean, I guess that depends on your dividends.
And what's the market fallibility like? Do we have to worry about? I mean, I was in school up until 2008, so like everything was fine back then, till the very end of it.
Yes, right. We became adults when everything went on fire.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We graduated just as they said. Everything you just learned about all of it, it's not going to help you. They released us onto the island. We became the naked children running around killing each other.
Oh gosh, that's too real.
Oh, it was awful.
Happy New Year!
Yeah, Happy New Year! Like, remember all those times where they're like, yeah, you gotta go to college, because once you go to college, you get a good, even if you get a